You know what I just realized? Both of our profile pictures have visor guys, except mine are fake.
Does it really?
Yeah, mine's the Apple Vision Pro and yours is Cyclops.
Oh, I forgot to change mine to Nightcrawler. But yeah, that is true.
Wait, Nightcrawler? No, I'm seeing Cyclops. I don't see Nightcrawler.
No. I was gonna change it to Nightcrawler and then I forgot. But you know what? Yeah. My goat with the backwards hat. That's
hell yeah.
With the snapback. That's what it is.
That's what I need more of. I remember when the Young Justice, because their headquarters were like on a beach volcano or whatever, they would just constantly be at the beach, and it would be their counterpart like beach outfits. We need more of that in media. I always wanted to see Iron Man in a skimpy two-piece, but we never saw it.
Is it like armor? Is it armor?
Yeah, it's still armor. Okay. It's still armor. Still armor.
Hell yeah. Well, anyways, guys, welcome to the podcast.
That was the cold open to the podcast?
Yes,
that's
we're
crazy.
doing it this way. We're doing it this way. Yeah. I'm not going to change it for anyone.
Good. No, hey, I like it.
Anyways, my name is Carol Presents, and we have the one and only Eduardo.
Hey, it's me at Chuntillo on all social media. Some people call me Eduardo. Some people call me L Edits. Other people call me Idiot. But, you know, I'll answer to anything. Really, I'll answer to anything.
And I'm going to call you Amazing. So.
Aw, thanks. Aw, I'm blushing. Shucks. Thanks.
So, yeah, Julian's not here this week. Got a little busy, wrapped up with stuff. So I figured a good co-host special guest would be Eduardo, because I always have fun talking to you. And we're going to talk about a lot of random things that have come out recently, because today is Free Comic Book Day.
That's right. When we're filming this, May the 4th be with you. And also, as I learned today, the first Saturday of May is Free Comic Day. And you were telling me that you fought a 7-year-old to get the majority of the comics that you got today. That was crazy. I didn't think that you would confess to punching a 7-year-old.
I did. I also did a backflip.
Whoa.
On them. So
on them. Jeez. That's brutal. That's some WWE moves right there.
Yeah. You know, can't you smell what I'm cooking? Anyways.
There you go. That's also a reference that I know.
It is a reference to something that
John Cena.
Is a reference. The one and only. Yeah. It was cool. I went to the one nearby, and they had a deal where it was like, you could either just get 5 comics or you could get 10 if you buy something else. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. So I got an action figure of my goat, Cyclops from X-Men 97, and it looks pretty dope.
I missed out on the hype around the original X-Men series when it came out, and so when they announced the continuation, or whatever you want to call it, this new version, X-Men 97, I was like, you know, I'm interested because everyone's hyped around it, but I don't really have an attachment over it. And when I tried to go back to watch the original show, this is no hate on the artists and the people that worked on the original series, but it hasn't aged gracefully, because I'm used to, you know, my animations a little bit more, you know, smooth,
like
a
fluid,
little bit. Exactly. Fluid. Thank you. And so I couldn't really get past the first episode. And so, you know, X-Men 97 came out, and I'm like, I'm going to check it out. But everyone's saying how this is kind of like the original. I don't know if I'm going to be. I was mind blown by them, and I get the hype now that I was able to get past my own superficialities. You were speaking about your beloved Cyclops. And I was telling you guys how much I enjoy this, because as a child, while you guys were watching X-Men, I was watching novelas. And this is just a soap opera, but with mutants and superpowers. And I love it.
That's exactly what it is. And that's why I love it. Because it's dramatic, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fantastical in all the great ways. And I'm someone who I was more of a Wolverine and the X-Men kind of person, but I did watch, like, you know, 1994 Spider-Man. I watched, you know, the Iron Man show. I watched Fantastic Four. I did watch some of X-Men, but not to the point where I saw the end and I know where it continues for the new one. So, but I did see like the first season and stuff, and like, you know, Daredevil shows up in that and all that. Yeah, X-Men 97 is really good. Have you caught up?
I am caught up to the most recent episode. I have heard that obviously because it's X-Men, it's influenced by story arcs that have already happened in the comics. Mm-hmm. I just can't believe the pace that we're going at. Because again, I don't have a reference point from like the original series. So I don't know if like every season was like this, where they're like, here is everything. And it's great. I think the pacing's incredible. Everyone's mentioned.
Oh, you're saying it's good. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's great. Right. Yeah. X-Men 97. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Yes. I love it. I thought it was going to be, what terminology could I use here? I thought it was going to be villain of the week, but it's not villain of the week. We're going to tell a whole story for this season. Everyone's going to get like their little arcs. We're going to get to know all about these characters, or you're going to continue knowing about them if you followed the original series. And obviously, as everyone's mentioned, voice acting top notch, the animation and the fights. There's this ongoing joke with the Mr. Sunday Movies crew in their podcast where they say, you know, everything should just be animation because it's unlimited money that you get for, like, everything's free because you don't have to build real sets. You don't have to like worry about like the practicality of it all. And all I could think about was just the sweat and tears of all of the animators as they were coming up with some of the sequences. Because I think it's, I don't know how you picture something like that and put it in on TV show and have an overall general positive reaction from the audience. I don't think we'd seen that in a while. Maybe what do you want? The ending of Loki, everyone thought was great. Guardians, everyone thought was great. Volume 3, but like in animation, I think we haven't had like a good thing since what? I mean, what if the DC Tomorrowverse?
It's not good.
It's not at this level. So props.
Yeah, I'm someone who thinks that I think animation, was at its best. Not its best, but it's like it was technically efficient, but it was also like really good pacing, really good story, all that stuff. I think it was like the late 2000s, because it was like Spectacular Spider-Man. You had like a bunch of Batman things. You had Wolverine and the X-Men, a bunch of things. Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, like everything. Like
I know that some people will say this one doesn't. It fits because there's action. It doesn't fit because it's not superhero, unless you really want to stretch out the term superhero. But I know a lot of people will say like Avatar: The Last Airbender is also like a benchmark for animation. I know some people will say what was the spinoff? Did people like the spinoff? Yeah,
Korra. I think people are mixed on it. Okay. I think usually the consensus is like the first two are okay, and then the last two aren't. I think that's usually the consensus. I like the first one. I think I'm not as harsh on the show the way other people are, but okay. Yeah. I mean, Korra is. I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to Avatar, but it is very enjoyable in my opinion.
Anyway, that is to say, excellent job. As a lot of people have said, and I'm just a broken record repeating everyone else's words, animation isn't just for kids. I think this kind of proves it. I can't compare it to the original because I'm not going to say that I watched it. But like you said, if I compare it to Spectacular is more on the side of like a kid's show because nobody really got hurt in that. Like, there wasn't really, there was drama. Bullets. There was drama, yes. Yeah. But just the I guess.
I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? Like the punchiness of it is more X-Men. Like I feel the punches when Cyclops throws a big laser, it's not just light being emitted. It's a whole pressure being pushed upon someone.
Yeah, I'll tell you even right now. Oh, spoilers! I forgot to mention. The Genosha, like the genocide.
Oh yeah.
That sequence I like stood there for like a few minutes because I was like, dude, they did this in animation. They basically like, I mean, because again, the whole thing is like Magneto's background is that he's a Holocaust survivor, and like considering a lot of, you know, things that are happening in the world. Yeah, a lot of parallels, a lot of the things. If people don't know, like, you know, the whole mutant thing, the reason why the mutant stories were created was because X-Men and all that was a reaction to, you know, the civil rights movement, because it was like Malcolm X was supposed to be Magneto and MLK was supposed to be Professor X. And you see it like throughout the whole thing, you know, how they gotta find ways to hide the way they want to be perceived, and like what is the right way to be perceived. The whole idea of being tolerated as a concept, you know, that's not like a hero, that's not a hero thing, you know, that's like a human thing, or like a, you know.
I also enjoy just how much it can incorporate its own stories. It's not trying to be in your face about it. It's, hey, this is the story we're telling, right? And it works with the characters, and it works with the world that these characters live in. Even though this is supposed to be set in 97, I think the show is pretty timeless. I think if you play this show, I think if the show had come out in 97, we could still watch it today. And I hope that in 30 years, in 20 years, we'll be able to rewatch this one and be like, oh yeah, that's just good. That's just a good show. It wasn't good for its time. It's just a good show. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of things that might come out, you're like, oh, well, you know, Avengers 1 was good for its time. But then it was topped by like Infinity War or that sort of thing. You know what I mean? I think this show, X-Men 97, kind of stands on its own.
I mean, to be fair, from like a company that uses AI a lot now.
Hey, how dare you?
I hope this is like a good testament to like, we still need animators. We still need like solid stories with, you know, people who can handcraft these things, because the quality fucking shows, dude.
It really does. It really does. And again, it's not just in the animation. It's in those voice actors who I'm sorry to all of the original actors from What If, but some of them aren't voice actors, and it kind of shows, you know?
But that's the funniest thing about What If, though, is because it's supposed to be grounded based on like live action
MCU
content. Yeah, exactly. So the problem is, it's like your suspension of belief can go a certain way, and like they do things like, oh, Vision gets like the fucking Infinity Stones, and like Tony's on Jeff Goldblum's racetrack type shit, you know. But like, and you know, some of them are good, but most of the time it's like everyone knows it and it has moments where like the animation tries to like imitate the live action look and all that stuff, and I'm like, you can't do that with animation. You can't, because they're not the same medium. Your suspension of belief is different type shit. So
at the point of recording this podcast, we have 2 episodes left of the season. We know that season 2 had the same team, with the executive producer who got fired, like, what was it, a week before the show came out or something?
Yeah. What was the reason for that?
We don't have a reason yet. That's the problem. There are rumors.
Saw something like he had like an OnlyFans or something.
That's what I heard, by the way. Yeah. What's up?
But
you want to plug you want to plug your OnlyFans, or by the way, what?
That is patreon.com/KO presents. Anyways. No, like. But even if he does, who the fuck, who cares? If that's his business. That's not like, you know, he's a writer.
At the point of us recording this, we don't know the actual reason. A lot of people have speculated. I think this is the biggest speculation. He only broke silence like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was in the middle of like episode 3 or episode 4. And he's like, hey, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I want to thank everybody that's super cool and talented or whatever. But I don't think he even acknowledged like, hey, I'm going to come back and we'll talk about this later, or like, I'll explain. Even if he does come back, I don't think he's going to come back to say anything until we get season 2.
Oh no.
He's going to say, if he says anything, it's going to be after that, because there's probably some NDA that says you can't speak until all of your work is published. That way it doesn't affect the quality of the perception of the whatever. Which kind of leads me into, I assume that they're currently working on season 2, right? I assume that they're working on season 2 now, based on what the guy who got fired. I should look up his name. It's not nice that I refer to him.
I think it's Beau DeMayo, I want to say.
He has like a French name, so I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's Beau.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're in his month, Mayo.
Mayo. Okay.
That's Spanish for May. Yeah, it's just an abrupt exit. Head of animation. He was the head of animation studios, not just the executive producer on the show.
Okay. This is what worries me, because it's
me too.
It's so obvious that this was made with someone who's a true fan of the show. He understands the character. Like, some of the things was like X-Men stuff that I didn't know. And I was like, oh shit, okay. I didn't know we were going that far into shit. And like, yeah, it's like a lot of, undertones that are so clearly based on someone who grew up with the show, which I think resonates a lot with people. So my worry is, like, if they're doing a season 2 and season 3, like, if it's not this dude, what does that look like, because season 1 was able to take a lot of like crazy swings. Like, you had fucking Gambit had like a crazy number, and then that dude got wiped. Rogue has started like becoming more prominent, man. I mean, it is spoilers. We're talking spoilers, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? I was wrong. He is active on social media. I was wrong. I thought he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But he's been like following along with the episodes and like responding to people. To what you were mentioning, you're going to love this. Somebody asked him, this was only 2 weeks ago. This was the 21st of April. Someone asked him, hey, genuinely curious, as a longtime fan of yours, what can you tell us about the process and how much control directors had? And if you just wrote episodes, what was your process with writers? Using the hashtag bring back Beau back. Bring Beau back. How do you pronounce it? Beau.
I want to say it's Beau.
Is it a French name? Anyway, too fancy for me.
I don't know. Is it wrong?
Also, and then this person said,
I apologize.
I don't know. I hope it's not wrong. Also, this person said, you're a cutie. And he responded saying, in TV, the showrunner is the main creative lead besides the studio. It's almost, but not exactly, like one imagines a film director does. The voice and tone for X-Men 97 is tricky, so I first came up with a, ready for this, 20-page Bible that included outlines for each episode. I would then build out a fuller outline with a writer and then send them to a script if I wasn't co-writing off of that outline. Most showrunners then do a pass on their staff's writer scripts, bringing it in line with their tone and voice, polished dialogue, etc. And that was just recently. He just responded to that recently. So I think it's pretty cool that, he hasn't. I feel like if this was a case where he did something really bad, he would have just disappeared off the face of the earth and we would have never seen him again.
I mean,
I'm hoping.
I don't want to say that because, like, I think NDAs exist.
Yeah.
So,
I think just him like popping in on social media and like following the
show
with everybody else. Like, he was posting memes about what's his name?
There's so many
big
people.
Buff guy, Magneto. Magneto in the last episode, he's kind of undressed and just wearing a underwear. And so he was like posting like memes, personal trainer, what are your goals? And then it's the picture of Magneto half naked, not half naked, but almost completely naked, just wearing his underwear.
Is this the one where he's coming out of Bastion's prison or whatever?
Yeah. It's in the not one? Coming out. It's him being tied up. But yes.
Yeah. In the previous episode, right?
Yeah. So he's like following along. This is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel like in his 20-page thing was like, all right, 19 pages is just Magneto serving You know what I'm saying? And then one page of that was, hey, humans become sentinels.
Exactly. That, which is really cool. I again, much like an idiot, I don't know a lot about like the canon and the world and whatever. I knew of the Sentinels just because of the movies, right? As casual as I can be. Maybe some of the video games, maybe just some references to like comics, but never actually as someone who read the comics. But the whole plot twists and the stories that they're building, the Sentinel Godzilla that they had a couple of episodes ago, the human Sentinels that they have. I completely forgot that Cable is Cyborg's son. I completely forgot that. Because I remember that conversation came about when we had Cable in Deadpool, and I must have watched like who's Cable, and it's like, well, sometimes depending on who wrote him, he's actually Cyclops' child who time travels, and he's also like a hybrid human mutant and something else. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But how long ago was Deadpool 2? I just completely forgot that he was Cyclops' kid.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of dads, like, it's kind of crazy. We've had two different iterations of Quicksilver, and they never acknowledge that he's Magneto's son.
Don't worry about it. We'll get to it one of these days. All right. Hey.
I mean, they acknowledge Mystique for Nightcrawler in the show. They don't do that for anything else. That's sad.
Buddy, would you come on, man? Yeah, kind of, maybe.
On. Yeah. But anyways,
send your tweets to well, I guess not this guy because he has no control over it anymore, but I don't know, send your tweet to somebody. Kevin Feige, he's always the guy. To Kevin Feige.
Fiji, yes.
Fiji water Kevin.
The thing that is funny about this is the show, by the way, is the fact that it's everything that X-Men I've thought X-Men is, but it's not really what the movies is, in the sense where the X-Men are separate from society. It's a lot of like they're trying to fight for their right to live, pretty much.
Right.
And there's a lot of like I guess resistance. There's a whole thing about like Spider-Man was trying to be part of the X-Men in the comics, and they wouldn't let him. Like that was one, because he wasn't really born with it or anything like that. The other thing is that like the Avengers and X-Men have like a lot of, back and forth, because the Avengers try to do it in a very like governmental kind of diplomatic type of way, and without caring what really the mutants have to do with all that, because they do a lot of human stuff. And that's why the X-Men are like, hey, we're trying to do this shit for everyone.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So there's always like a push and pull. And what I'm worried is that because this is coming out, I feel like they're going to push more X-Men things. My worry is that they started putting Beast and, the Marvels. They had Professor X. They're coming out with Deadpool. I'm worried that they're going to roll out these new, X-Men things and lose sight of like why they exist. Just on the thing of like, hey, we need them to interact with the Avengers type shit,
We've already started seeing some rumors. Again, these are just from those scoopers, quote unquote, that say they know everything, but
they know everything. What do you mean?
That's what they say.
Everything.
Hey, listen to me. That's what they say.
Do you not scoop yourself, Eduardo?
I don't scoop myself. I scoop my dog's poop sometimes, but I don't scoop myself. For better or for worse. One of these scoopers recently came out and said, well, we may actually be getting an Avengers v X-Men in the next couple of years. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, I don't think they know what they're doing for the next Avengers movie. There was a report that came out that was asking the top Avengers actors who are still alive. They were like, hey, clear your schedule. We're going to be filming soon. Right. Yeah. The weirdest part to me is that conversation wasn't had when Kevin Feige announced, and we're going to be doing Secret Wars and we're going to be doing Kang Dynasty. That's the moment when you call them and you tell them, hey, now that we've announced that, I can officially tell you that I'm going to need you to clear your schedule for this date to this date tentatively, because that's when we're going to film. As you just saw, we just announced those things. You don't tell them the year that they're going to be working on the year that they're going to be filming it on. Are you kidding? All of these people are super busy. Who are you going to be bringing back? Doctor Strange, Tom Holland, right? That's if he doesn't start working on Spider-Man 4, which may or may not be confirmed at this point.
I don't know
if he doesn't start working on that first. Right. Yeah. You got Tom Holland. Is Captain Marvel coming back? She said she maybe doesn't want to come back because everyone hated the Marvels. I think
Miss Marvel is going to come back. I think
the problem is if you bring in Miss Marvel, then we're never going to get a Young Avengers movie.
But I think the new Avengers is going to be the Young Avengers.
You think so? But they want Doctor Strange to be their leader, though, from what we've heard.
That's weird though, because what about fucking Sam exists, the new Captain America? Which, by the way, can we? Sorry, weird sidetrack.
Oh my gosh!
Did you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see the
no,
fucking suit?
Say it.
You see the new suit?
They were so close. Somebody pointed out that
it looks like a clone trooper.
Somebody pointed out the. What do you want? What can I call it? The simplicity of the situation. We are assuming that the reason why they're going with a different suit for Captain America was because when they filmed Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the white wraparound mask that he wears is hard. Right, is hard for him to wear. It's hard for him to move around. It's hard for him to whatever. Two examples were given by the Twitter community who, I don't always like to say, hey, hear out the Twitter community. I will never be the defender of that, except in this situation. They're like, hey, when we first saw Kid Flash, he had also that stupid neck thing, but it got fixed within like a season. So I'm sure that you guys have had enough time to figure it out. Number two, the Captain America from Captain America and the Winter Soldier that walks around Disney parks has the suit and they fixed it for the parks. So why aren't you giving him the cool white suit that everybody universally loved and we all saw for about 3 minutes and 45 seconds in the season finale for the Captain America and the Winter Soldier show?
Yeah. Which, by the way, the funniest thing about that is you build up this whole thing about like how Sam has to be different from Steve, right? That's like the whole thing of that show, right?
He's his own Captain America. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the next thing you do is give him a helmet. Like, doesn't that defeat the purpose of like, hey, he's a black man who's wearing the stars and stripes. That's what they said. Yet, like, the whole thing of trust and stuff, like you decide to give him a helmet and that makes it better. Well, I'm confused.
It's because there's so many things with that. You're going to say, oh, well, he's obviously Sam isn't a super soldier, so we want to keep him safe the majority of the time. The guy wore this exact same jetpack with wings when he was a soldier and you only gave him some ski goggles. What do you mean you're trying to take care of him? Now you're trying to take care of him? And then
I don't think they know what that means.
I know they don't know what that means. There's so many things weird with the suit. The weird little short sleeves that aren't fully short before like your elbow, but they go beneath the elbow. And then the weird like metally plastically gauntlets that he has on his hands. Whereas before he had like a cool thing. I don't know if you remember Captain America, Winter Soldier. Whenever he flew, he had like a wrist submachine gun that he was ready to flip around. How is he supposed to flip around his machine guns now if he has the stupid gauntlets? Unless they're like Black Widow-esque gauntlets. Regardless,
I don't think they're going to give him. I don't think they're going to give him machine guns.
What? But Captain America used guns too. I mean, he did in the first Avenger.
That's what I'm saying, though. But a part of me thinks that they won't, just because they'll be like, "Oh, he's a hero or something." But I'm like, dude,
so he's only going to use the shield?
He literally shot guns.
Like, exactly.
He was a soldier.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, also, this is also coming from the same studio that gave us his cool little drone for one scene, and we've never used it again. Whereas,
Red Wing.
Yeah, Red Wing, super cool. I thought that was cool. I thought that maybe we could, incorporate that with more stuff. I thought that would have been great. It could be his thing.
But the thing is, Red Wing is the name of his sidekick in the comics. That's why.
Yeah, but now it's going to be Falcon again, which we talk to Offender. We talk about Offender number 2 now. Falcon just looks like a skinny version of the Vulture suit. It looks almost exactly the same, with the exception of like smaller wings.
Are we sure it's not from the Morbius universe?
Oh my god!
Have we thought about that?
I don't want to talk about the Morbius universe. I don't want to talk about the Morbius universe. This is all slowly starting to turn. This is all slowly starting to turn into the spunk.
It is. The issue is that I think before they kept it more simple. There was a straight line for all of these things, and I think now they don't have a real idea of where to go. Much like actual comics, it's very interesting to see. Because
lastly, I have Offender number 3, but I'll let you wrap up your thought on comics. What's going on in the comics world? What am I missing out of?
Oh, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, I could just talk about the Spider-Man thing and all that. But apparently they also started using AI. Oh, just the fact that, Amazing still keeps him lonely, and Ultimate has started making him a dad, which is cool. Which, by the way, can we get more old Peter Parker in comics?
No.
Or not comics, in movies?
We can't. No.
Why?
No, we can't. Because kids don't want to think about being grown up. Kids just want to think about kids, and comics are for kids. They're not for you and me.
Just do Superman and Lois, but for Spider-Man.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You know what they should do? Marvel, here's a freebie for you.
Tell me.
Do a spin-off comic series on the Peter Parker from Across the Spider-Verse. And give me his story about give me the story about how even though he got divorced, he got back together with Mary Jane, and immediately after Into the Spider-Verse, they made baby, and then Mayday was born. And then just give me that story. It doesn't have to be a super convoluted Superman and Lois if you don't want to go to that extreme. I would appreciate it, but I mean, I'm not going to read it because I don't read comics. But because I'm dumb. I'm the problem. I understand that. But I think it would be interesting. You already have the character established. People already like him from the animated movies, right? Just give me his story. What's he been up to? Right? He's a seasoned Spider-Man. He has a baby spider little girl. He has a Mary Jane that doesn't hate him. It looks like his love life is good. I think we saw that they live in a house. They no longer live in like the city. They live in the suburbs, right? Give me something with that. How hard can it be?
To be fair, I think some of that happens in the new one. Not all of that, because
with the bearded Parker.
Well, he is bearded Parker, but he has two
Grant
kids.
Gustin Parker.
That's the difference. Grant Gustin Parker. He does look like Grant Gustin. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That's all I see on my timeline. Whenever they talk about the comics, they're like, he kind of looks like Grant Gustin. Grant Gustin, do your thing. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But
everyone keeps fan casting Andrew Garfield as the Flash and Grant Gustin as Spider-Man.
In a parallel universe, we could have gotten that. In the Flash movie, we could have got that.
Yeah. In the actual thing that he plays, he could have played it again.
I also think about the missed opportunity because it was a CW show, but the missed opportunity of just having the Flash be quirky and just one-liner dude, and he's just always one step ahead. Instead, we got me doing a fan edit to a song from that musical that they did that one episode, but it was a sappy song. It was like, all I want to do, I'm running home to you. We could have had a fun musical number, but instead, because it fit the tone of the show. Anyway, sorry, I'm ranting about other things, but I go back to my offense number 3 of Captain America, A Whole New World. That's the official title for the next one. No, it's Brave New World. No, what's it called?
It's not A Whole New World.
No, it's Brave New World, I think.
You're in the musical realm.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey,
it's Brave New World.
Yeah, Brave New World. Offender number 3. We're not gonna get Red Hulk with his cute little mustache, and that upsets me so much.
Oh, that is
We're not
true.
going to get that unless this is going to be so stupid. Unless they're going to say, all right, so last time we saw Thunderbolt Ross, he was mad. Who was he mad at? He was mad at everyone. He's like, Captain America, you're not an Avenger. We've been chasing you, right? We saw him in Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
I'm mad at you guys, right? And he had a little mustache there. Unfortunately, to those who don't know, the actor passed away and he got replaced by Harrison Ford, who will be playing the President of the United States, right?
Yeah.
And now Harrison Ford doesn't have the little mustache. I have a theory that Harrison Ford, he's just in it for the money. So he's like, little mustache. I'm not going to wear a little mustache for this movie. I was Indiana Jones. Just pay me my money and I'll stand here on the screen, which also would explain why he has a terrible haircut. Like if that was a president, I mean, I can't say anything because our current political system sucks, but who voted for him with that hair? You know, he doesn't have any charm. No, little, ooh, Mr. President vibes,
He's
right?
an army general. That's the whole thing.
I get, but
he's
no,
the
but
good old
even
American man.
Yeah, but even like that haircut, that you can't tell me that's like, how do I explain it? When we last saw him in Infinity War, he had slick back hair. He was wearing that suit. He had his little combed. I know it's a different actor, but as a president, I would expect him to be, I sent a picture to the group chat of young Harrison Ford, and I'm like, had we only gotten this version of him, he had nice slick back, a blonde, but a platinum blonde hair, and he had a nice little dark mustache. Now it's not going to make sense. He's going to turn into Hulk. It's just going to be a red version of him. And you're going to be like, is this like Mark Ruffalo? Who cares? Who cares at this point? No little mustache for you. Or they could make it really gross. And they're like, well, in canon, President Thunderbolt Ross doesn't trim his nose hairs. And so Hulk, whenever he gets big, it's not a mustache. It's just his nose hairs.
It's just his nose hairs?
I don't know. I'm trying to explain it, man. It upsets me. I like it when things are goofy. All right? I like it when things are goofy. You give me one of these little what were we looking at the other day that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's some goofy stuff, but I appreciate it." I think the most like
that can apply to so many things.
That could be Loki season 1 when we got old Loki and he was wearing like a comic accurate version of the God of Mischief's outfit.
Oh yeah,
I'm like yeah, like that. Do that. Everybody's having a happy fun time with that. Anyway, it's just upsetting. When Elizabeth Olsen wore a Scarlet Witch just a onesie, I'm like when Vision was just wearing a luchador cape and shorts, and I'm like, there's no reason why you should be ashamed of what you guys actually look like. Instead, everyone's just wearing weird leather or faux leather and vests, and I don't know, man.
Not even that, like spandex and stuff. I said, I think a great change would be like if the new Superman, I know they're not going to do it, but like the new Superman has like a pure cloth, like, outfit, or like the new Batman, like has,
that'd be cool.
An all cloth, like, I feel like it would change things up, and it's like, I think it would show like physicality and stuff. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool if you do it right, but no one wants to do that.
The weirdest part is that they already had the perfect suit with Sam Wilson's Captain America suit. They already had it.
Yeah.
It was already there. It wasn't too leathery. It was more like a rubbery plastic where you could be like, well, it's because of aerodynamics and it's so he can like move better. But now you have him wearing like a leather jacket, and I'm like, brother, how is he supposed to maneuver in the air?
That's not even. I'll be honest. Of all these things, that's not even the thing that worries me about this movie. To be honest,
you think it's the 7-month reshoot or whatever that exaggerated number was?
Not that. I don't know if we want to get political, but like.
Oh, you're talking about Agent Israel or whatever.
Yeah.
What's that character's name? I haven't looked into enough about who she is in the comics.
Sabra, I think is her name. But
that's so funny because Sabra is the company in the office that like took over their parental company, and they tried to sell like a Triangle smartphone and immediately went bankrupt.
Sabre.
You remember?
Yeah, I do remember. It's The Office. Of course I remember.
Yeah.
About The Office.
It's because Sabra is a modern Hebrew term that defines any Jew born in Israel. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very... not only that, but it's also really weird because it's like Tim Blake Nelson is coming back from The Incredible Hulk as the leader.
Yeah, as the leader, yeah.
Yeah, so he is a Jewish actor, and the movie is called Brave New World, and if you know Captain America, that usually means it's Nazi shit. So what does this mean? When you have all these different things stack up politically, it is extremely problematic, especially from a company like Disney.
What does she do? Just in the comics, what does she do? If we take this away from modern day politics, let's say that nothing ever happened, that nothing has happened, and they release like this movie like on a standalone. I'm trying to get an idea of her power set. Oh, she was important during the Secret Invasion story arc?
Are you asking like her abilities, or
I'm looking for her abilities. I can't find any. 1 second. Affiliations, creator and appearances. Why can't
she
I
does
find it?
She's typically like an Incredible Hulk character. Also, the other thing for this is why the fuck are they using so many why the fuck are they using so many Hulk characters in a Captain America movie? The leader is why. A fucking Hulk villain.
We know why. We know why, because they can't have a Hulk movie.
Because Mark Ruffalo. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but no, because of rights, not because of Mark Ruffalo. I'm sure Mark Ruffalo would be down to do it, but just Universal, I think, still hold on to those rights, and that's why they just have to either put him in a TV show like She-Hulk, or
they literally made a movie. They literally made a show called She-Hulk.
She-Hulk,
and he wasn't doing not part of the contract.
No, TV rights can be something else. That's why, for example, Marvel can have a show in production about Spider-Man, but they can't make a movie without Sony. I think they shared like TV rights. They can do it independently because like we've heard that Amazon through Sony is working like on a Black Noir show and a Silk show.
Yeah.
But also Marvel can be doing supposedly their freshman year Spider-Man. I think that's not happening anymore, but all right. So I found her powers.
Black Noir?
What is it? It's not Black Noir. That's The Boys. It's just Spider-Man Noir.
Spider-Man Noir?
Okay.
Sorry. All right.
Sorry about that. Yes, Black Noir is The Boys.
I was like, wait a minute. Are they making a Black Noir show? I'd be like, that's
so. Let me ask you this. You're our comics person. I'm going through her power set. She was just also a super soldier experimentee. Is that what this is?
It kind of. Yeah, I know she was in the New Warriors. That's the extent of what I know her from.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of her stuff is like mostly like it's either Hulk or X-Men related typically. Yeah. So but neither of these things fall into that. So it's
right.
It gets confusing. She's involved in Secret Wars too. So but yeah, again, the extent of what I know about her is pretty random, but she has pretty generic powers. It's just,
she's basically Captain America from what I'm reading. Superhuman strength, speed, stamina, agility, reflexes, durability, regeneration, life force transferal. I thought that was a Star Wars thing, but it's on her wiki. And she can kind of fly. She can kind of fly because of her cape. Because she has an anti-gravity device with her cape that she can fly.
See, but again, I have no problem with the fact that I mean, like more female character, like do that. Like I'm down.
Yeah.
I feel like they're better, less problematic ones though.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That's
the one. How do I say this? I don't know what it's been with Marvel. that they've gone woke. Nah, I'm just kidding. That they've just had a terrible, terrible timing with a whole bunch of things that have come out right after Endgame. Right after Endgame. During Endgame, the majority of that movie is about half of the population just not being around, and then they come back. Right. Yeah. And then we kind of talk about like the problems. We talked about it for 2 seconds. The problems that might occur with a society worldwide where that happens. And then a couple of months later, we got a pandemic that wiped out almost, the whole world or whatever. Right. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They're like, let's talk about a virus that has the potential of we can't because of COVID. So we're going to have to rewrite the show because it's too close to what we live in right now. And now they were in the middle of filming this, and one of the biggest conflicts in the Middle East and God knows how long happens. And now they're also forced to, I don't know if the reshoots are going to include that, and only time will tell, because they didn't hide it very well in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, it was clearly supposed to be something else. And then the third act was, and everything was solved because Captain America took everyone out of the UN, and then he gave a speech, and now he's Captain America. Cool. Dun, dun. Yeah. And that was it. And you're like, you never have to worry about the terrorist organization because we had to kill the little girl who, she wasn't a little girl, but she was a young girl who, we had to make her a terrorist. She randomly killed like a bakery or something because we really couldn't. I feel like these stories are supposed to talk about a much existential threat. And then just because of bad timing, like, we won't be able to see the Serpent Society. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because the whole thing of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is that I could see them try to do that. Like the whole idea of like PR and like having a government selected Captain America and how he's a little fucking crazy because he's, crazy. And like, also, what does the super soldier serum do? Like, what are the ethics behind that? Like, should the next Captain America, whether that's Sam or not, wear that? Bucky is clear. Also, where the fuck is Bucky in this?
Hey, don't worry about it. You're asking too many questions. Again, I talked about this on the Discord with you guys. It sucks because they just like they've been releasing some deleted scenes because they're promoting the Blu-ray for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The show that came out like 3 years ago. They're finally releasing it on Blu-ray. Yeah. And one of the scenes so fucking long. Don't worry about it. One of the scenes is just Bucky in Sam's hometown, and he's like greeting everyone, and it's clearly at the end, and it's like, man, I love you, Sam, and we're like brothers, and this is like family. What we share is grief in our best friend and mentor not being with us anymore. We're going to be together forever as we float along this boat that you and I rebuilt, because that's what we took a lot of time in that montage in the middle of the show to show that we did that, and now we're brothers and we're going to be together. Oh, I'm not invited to be in the next movie.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I feel like it's different if Sebastian Stan doesn't want to be in it, but
no, the problem is that we did a stupid presentation. I'm Marvel when I say we did a stupid presentation, and we announced to the world that we were going to do Thunderbolt. The team where nobody has superpowers. And who's a person that doesn't have superpowers, kind of? Bucky. And did it kind of seem like, Bucky kind of maybe was going to be a Captain America and lead a team? Yeah, we're not going to make him the leader of this team. It's actually going to be next Black Widow because she has more name recognition at the moment. Are you kidding me? That's probably the reason why we're not getting Bucky in the next Cap movie. They're going to make a reference, be like, Bucky couldn't help because he's off with those Thunderbolts asterisk.
But it's so funny because the Thunderbolt team is not supposed to be just like a bunch of assassins, and then you have like a couple. It is like a whole slew of like different people with different abilities and stuff. And it seems like because the whole thing was they're coming in to replace the Avengers, right? So the whole idea is it seems like it's supposed to be like Dark Avengers. The thing is, you picked characters that aren't exactly dark. Like Bucky is kind of turned around. He just kills people. That's the only difference. what's her name? Yelena is also like that. And, you have Ghost, who was like that also a little bit. Who else? Red Guardian is also like that. There's all these characters that, like, they're not really Dark Avenger. Dark Avengers, look, in the comics is like, it's Venom, it's fucking Norman Osborn, Iron Man. And there's like this whole slew of characters who are genuinely bad people who, like, and you see how they kind of like maneuver the whole like team aspect. There's no like real conflict if they do it this way.
You know who's in our lineup for this one? Do you remember the lineup? Let me go through and tell you who's in this incredible team.
Ghost is the only useful one.
So we have the lady.
Heard nothing about this shit.
We have the lady from Veep. What's her name? Veronica Mars or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
not Veronica Mars.
Seinfeld, right?
Yeah, thank you. That lady who is their Nick Fury, we're going to assume, because she puts them all together. Ghost, who has actual powers. They're what do you want to call them? Quantum powers, phasing quantum powers. I don't know, vague light powers.
It's dope.
We have Captain Russia or whatever he is, Soviet man. What's his name?
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have New Black Widow, who is categorically not a bad guy.
No, she's not.
Bucky, categorically an Avenger.
Yeah.
Like in canon, he fought with the Avengers. Agent USA, categorically a bad guy. He kind of ran away from the US government.
Yeah,
he's technically like the only bad guy on this. And then we have Taskmaster, was a bad guy and now is a reformed bad guy. So you have two reformed villains, the dad of the new Black Widow, a Black Widow, and a Bucky. But the Black Widow is going to be the one leading the team when, if you just go to Thunderbolts Earth 616, throughout the years, the Thunderbolts operated as a virtuous group who was led by Hawkeye, Luke Cage, and the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier.
Do you know how much like I would give to see Luke Cage back?
Oh, that'd be great too. But anyway, also an interesting thing is, in light of most prominent superheroes of Earth being declared dead, Baron Zemo placed his criminal masters of evil in a position of trust by deceiving the authorities and the public, secretly rebranding them as Thunderbolts. So they're just bad guys pretending to be good guys the majority of the time.
Yeah, that's the extent of it. Yeah.
Then why? Oh my God. And by the way, that was just to answer the question. So why isn't Bucky in Captain America?
Yeah.
Because they're going to throw him in this stupid movie.
Yeah. Steven Yeun was supposed to be in it. He went out
as who? He was supposed to be a Superman, right?
I don't know who he was supposed to be. And then
a lot of people said that he was supposed to be Sentry. Ooh.
Look, I would love to see that, but if he backs out, he backs out. And like, what's her name? What's her name from The Boys? Not The Boys. The Bear. Ed. I still don't know how to say her name. I'm so sad. She's fucking awesome. She joined Thunderbolts and then she also left.
She said goodbye.
And I'm like, there must be something not like good with this. I think people are like knowing that Marvel is like when it was successful, it was very successful. But I think now a bunch of people are getting privy to the idea that maybe they're not knowing what to do or if it's still going to be successful and stuff. Look, I like Marvel because obviously, but this is confusing and I don't know what's going on. So,
and by the way, it's supposed to be released a year from like this week, May 2, 2025.
That's so soon.
I mean, they're shooting it right now because Florence Pugh, uploaded a video. She's like, here on set, we're having a good time. And that's where we saw that the Thunderbolts had an asterisk at the end of it. And when asked, Kevin Feige was, we won't be able to tell you until after the movie comes out. I want to believe.
What's the point of the Thunderbolts if if you're gonna make this, what is gonna happen to those characters? Are they coming back? I don't
know. I'm just so disappointed.
I don't know what Kevin's thinking.
Come on, Kevin Feige. Feige, what's your problem, man?
Feige.
Feige. I don't know what to tell you. Thunderbolts coming to a theater near you. I don't know. Look, you know what would be interesting? Here's what I would do. You give me Kevin Feige and you give me this exact lineup. Here's what I would do. Wait, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Watch me. Okay. Captain America Brave New World comes out February 14, 2025.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. All right.
Thank you. Oh, that's right. What the hell? Valentine's Day. You're right. I didn't even.
Nothing speaks to me about Valentine's Day like a
Captain America movie. Yeah. All right. Whatever. Have all of the events happen in that movie. Have them happen, right? Whatever it is. I don't know what the story is. Like you mentioned, there's a couple of ways that they could go. They have Red Hulk. They have what was it? The Master, Incredible Master, or what? What is the
leader?
Just the Master, the leader. Thank you. Who's the Master? Yeah. Is the Master from anyway?
Or Taskmaster is from Black Widow also.
Have all of those things happen. But it has to be kind of like an espionage, hands on the feet on the ground. New Captain America has to kind of decide how to maneuver this, whatever. Again, I don't know what any of this is based off of.
Mm-hmm.
And then in May, Thunderbolts releases, and you see that the Thunderbolts are the ones messing up Captain America's plans.
Do
a whole separate movie in the perspective of them, but that's happening in real time with Captain America Brave New World. That's the only reason why I can think of like an asterisk, because at the end it'll be revealed that, oh yeah, you remember that thing that Captain America was trying to do? Actually, it was like them, and that they're like a suicide. What are we, some sort of Suicide Squad? They're going to say at the end.
What are we, once some sort of Thunderbolts?
I don't know. I just can't think of any way to make this interesting. Do you remember when they're like...
Or make it relevant, you mean? Yeah.
Black Widow just died. Here's her backstory. And then you watch it and you're like, she kind of told us this happened. I mean, she didn't tell us about the helicarrier before the helicarrier, like falling from the sky or whatever.
Uh-huh. It's also a movie that came too late. That was the issue with that one.
Yeah, that one should have come out like right after Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It's like, let's hype up,
or maybe right before she dies. Like not like
you're right.
Before,
you're right.
No,
you're right, because the line that she says, because the line that she says in Infinity War is, oh no, it was Endgame. She's like, I've never had a family except for like you guys. I love you guys or whatever. Have the movie set right before that, and have it be revealed at the end of Black Widow that she never really had a family. That it was all like the movie Black Widow showed us, like it was all a facade. It was all fake. Like Captain Soviet Union and her mom that betrayed her, and that's why she can say, well, you guys are my first real family because never had anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too late.
Eduardo, this is how you fix it. I'm saying, look, this is the blueprint, right? You have that movie come out 5 seconds before she actually hits the floor in Endgame. That's when you play it, all right? And you have the whole backstory. And the next thing you see.
And then she dies.
And then, anyways, death is funny. Anyways,
this may seem grim. We're going to have to wait until 2025. But to keep us in suspense, originally we were going to have to, be happy in August. But now we're going to have to wait until December to live the hype of Kraven the Hunter, the perfect comic book movie.
That is true. Quicksilver himself.
What? No, Kraven the Hunter. I just said
kick ass himself.
No, I said Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I
said Russell himself.
I said Adriana de Bose. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's
and other people in this movie. I don't know who else is in this movie.
People who
another movie that's like, let's just grab the name of the character, but make him nothing like the character.
I wouldn't. Well, Russell Crowe seems like he's the character, but
he dies immediately. Right?
Yes, but
you think he's not dead?
Maybe. I don't know, actually, but
You think
I'm
this
saying,
is like an Iron Man 1, just like all of these Sony movies? It's just at the end, it's just going to be two dudes with the exact same power set.
Yes.
And one of them is a father figure.
I mean, what power? I mean, Kraven doesn't really have a power.
That's not what this movie tells me. This movie tells me he got his power from the lion.
The movie says it's like some... Does it do a totem thing? Sometimes he does a totem thing.
No. He got injured, and then the blood of a lion is what cures him. And then he has now, I am Kraven the Hunter. That's what it says.
I am vengeance. I am the night. That's what he says.
I am Kraven the Hunter. Oh, wow. Now Aaron Taylor Johnson also has eyes like tiger, like that Katy Perry song. Firework.
Yeah. Okay. I got the eye of the tiger.
He's biting people. I didn't notice that the first time that I watched this trailer. He's biting them.
I thought the whole thing of Kraven is he likes the sport. That's why he does it.
He ate the nose off that guy. Oh, that's gross, bro. That's gross. This is so stupid. This is so stupid.
Yeah. We could say whatever about Madam Web, but the thing I can appreciate is that all the actresses in that movie are way too good for that movie and knew that. That's what I can appreciate. Aaron Taylor Johnson did an interview for Kraven the Hunter, and he was like, "We have to be more legitimate with superhero movies and all stuff." And I'm like, "My guy, your movie Kraven the Hunter is a fucking villain. Spider-Man is his villain. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Do you remember that this movie was supposed to be released January 2023?
No, that's way too early.
And then it got moved to October 2023. And then the writer's strike happened. And then they moved to August 2024. And now it's going to be released in December 2024. Almost a 2-year delay. There's no way this movie's good.
But the movie's done, isn't it?
100%. They could drop it on Netflix tomorrow and nobody would give a shit.
I want them to shadow drop it on YouTube.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if you remember, but at the end of the Kraven the Hunter trailer, I think the only trailer we've gotten for this stupid thing, Rhino is teased. And he's just a man. It's a humanoid rhino. It's not big suited rhino. It's not mecha rhino either, which, for better or for worse, but just a human rhino.
I think the better look that they should do, which, I kind of agree with, is what they did for the first Amazing Spider-Man game, which is the whole idea is like cross species genetics. So it's like that's how you get the lizard. That's how you get, fucking rhino. That's how you get a bunch of, scorpion. Like that's like a Spider-Man 3 thing.
Really?
It's like, why don't you just do that for rhino? Like, why don't you make it a skin?
Oh, I see him now. I'm looking at gameplay right now. I think I played this game, but I may have fallen asleep because I may have gotten bored by playing it. And so, I remember this. Game. I remember playing this. Yeah. Those were the good old days, movie games. Imagine a Thunderbolts video game. Can you imagine? You can play as your favorite character with a gun. Any one of your favorite characters with a gun. Or Ghost, exactly. Who's the only one that has powers in that.
Right? That sounds that sounds like the worst. That sounds like the worst multiverses or Super Smash Bros. Where it's just all characters with guns. And then you have Ghost, and then everyone knows to pick that because that's the most OP character.
This is niche, but I want the boys to make fun of it. I want the boys to be like, and we have a brand new soup, and he just has guns. Aren't they just cops? No. It's a new version of a soup. I don't know. Homelander would have to sell it or whatever.
That's kind of what they did with Daredevil. Remember? Like the dude who was blind, and then the Homelander just like kicks his ass. Or
he just slaps his ears. He slaps his ears really hard. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I just want to throw away gag where it's like Ashley comes up to the 95th floor or wherever Homelander is. And she's like, we have a brand new team who's going to be great in like black communities. So what's their power? They just have guns. And he's like, perfect. It'll work there because they're all racist. But I think it would work really well. And maybe Marvel will see it and realize they have a problem.
Yeah, that's such a good show, man. I love that show.
Thunderbolts? It's not a show. It's a movie. But yeah, I agree with you. It's probably going to be great.
I do love Thunderbolts. I'm just kidding.
Asterisk.
I don't care.
Thunderbolts. Yes, can I have 2 tickets for Thunderbolts asterisks, please? Thank you. Oh, sold out. Of course. It's opening night. It's going to make its money back opening night.
Look, listen. If there's anything to learn from X-Men, it's that teams.
Yeah.
You need to have like a versatile like group. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point? You can't just have people with guns.
I completely agree with you.
What is this, G.I. Joe? Like,
Boo,
you can't do
that. You really got him, bro. Damn, you really got him. Here's my thing. You have, technically they kind of did this already. You have Heroes for Hire. Technically you have Defenders. Technically you have Great Lakes Avengers. Technically you have Alpha Flight, whoever those guys are. You have all of these different teams and you chose Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts is a good IP, though. I think with the right team, that's a good...
Yes, but not this team.
No, not this team. This team is nothing.
You have Champions of Los Angeles? Who are they? Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, they're like the kids that we just saw on... they're like Gen V. They operate off of the UCLA campus. That's crazy.
Yeah, they could do Mutant Academy.
No, not yet. Not yet. No, we're saving up all of the X-Men for 2030. We're gonna stop doing Avengers movies, and we're gonna start doing just pure X-Men characters.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway,
oh my God.
I'm tired. All right, listen. I'm tired. I'm sad. This Amazing Spider-Man video game has a character named Whitney. I don't know who Whitney is, but I'm watching it. Right. These are all characters that will one day get a Spider-Man movie, a standalone Spider-Man movie. Whitney,
I want to see that.
The Oscorp soldier. That's who she is.
Can we get that? Actually, can we get that?
Yeah, we can. They're working on it right now. It's going to be a 6-episode special event on Amazon Prime. Brought to you by the Mark Webb. Actually, Mark Webb's working on it.
Okay, if we're gonna get that, can we also get a? Can we also get a?
Yeah.
The scientist who didn't make Tony Stark's thing with a box of scraps. Can we get that dude also? That'd be good.
Yeah, of course. Tony.
I forgot his name. He was in Far.
He was
Far
also
From
in
Home,
Far From Home. Espérame. No, that's Obadiah Stane is not who I want. Spider-Man.
It's the other bald guy.
Yeah, it's the other bald guy. Let me see.
Yeah.
He's got to be here somewhere. We're going to give him his own movie. Oh, God, we're going to make so much money off of nothing.
It is.
There it is. William Gintra Riva. William Riva.
Okay.
Just William Riva.
Okay.
There, him.
Mysterio's computer guy. Yeah.
Yeah, him. Look, that's another thing. 100%. That's another thing. They used to do the one shots or whatever. Just do a whole bunch of one shots of like, where is the Mysterio crew now? We know that Beck died, but the team must be out there somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe they make a new one. Maybe they not like a Mysterio, but maybe they help another visionary, like that'd be interesting. Actually, you know
like
what?
Norman Osborn.
The hilarious thing is that would actually be a good show. It's like the damage control, but it's the opposite, but for like a villain. That'd be cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of want with that. Yeah.
Anyway, Sony, Marvel, if you guys want us to pitch more things, Madam Web, but it's actually good. Oh, but I have breaking news for you right now. I have hot breaking news.
Hit me.
The final Fast and Furious film, Fast 11, will release in 2026. They threatened.
They've said it's the final one for like a while.
Yeah.
Didn't they say the 10th one was going to be the final one, and then they have like 2 more after this?
No, he said the 10th one. Vin Diesel said, "Well, the family and the number 10 will be reviewed in 3 parts."
He's not Rocky.
Oh, you're right. That was more Rocky.
Right. Yeah. That's what.
Oh, my bad. All right, whatever. He said the 10th one was going to be split into 3 parts. That's what he said. But it was technically only going to be 10. We were going to stop at 10, and now we're just going to stop at a weird number like 11.
I thought you were going to say 10 parts. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
No. Sorry. We're stopping with Fast 10, but it was supposed to be like split up into 3 parts because there's so much, and I quote, to the mythology of Fast and Furious. That's what he said.
We do need to see the car gods in action.
Look, we got to see the gods. 2, we got to time travel.
But I feel like that would just be the Transformers, though. Much like
do they
Revenge
time
of
travel?
the Fallen. No, they don't. But I was saying more like Revenge of the Fallen. Sam Witwicky dies in that, and then goes to Autobot heaven.
Oh, does he?
That's probably what Dom sees when he dies. So
Heaven. I'm looking this up. I think you're dead. Oh no, sorry. Is Sam Witwicky dead in Transformers Part 2?
Yeah, and he like
wait a minute. What
dies.
is this? Robot Heaven. Afterlife is an extra dimensional realm where the spark souls of the Cybertrons go when they die.
Yeah,
Robot Heaven is it's a canon thing in the Michael Bay Transformers universe. You're blowing my mind right now. This is crazy.
Just say it's the Allspark. That's it.
What
anyways, I do think this is what Dom sees. I think Hans,
the Robot Heaven.
Yeah, I think Han sees snacks. I think Ludacris sees Ludacris
baby oil. Oh,
baby oil. Yeah.
No, that's The Rock. The Rock sees baby oil.
Yeah. And then Tyrese sees big ass forehead, and then The Rock sees a lot of money.
Oh, he's supposed to come back for that one because he was teased at the last. I don't know. Who cares?
I mean, The Rock maybe in heaven. It's also possible he just sees Henry Cavill. I don't know. Depending on
he sees the hierarchy of power about to change. Jesus Christ. I'm just upset that I was never able to be part of the canon in that world. I just feel like there's so many of those movies and so many wacky characters. I don't know if you remember, but even Ryan Reynolds is a part of that world because he was in Hobbs and Shaw as a CIA agent.
Yeah. Maybe they're playing. Maybe they're playing your show. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
who's playing my show? Who?
They want to hear some Spanish news. It's maybe, I don't know.
You're right. Do any of them speak Spanish? Oh yeah, because they had Don Omar a couple of movies ago, and I met Don Omar. Wait, I've met Don Omar. So by
You're
one
canon.
degree, I am canon because I met him like many years ago at a racing event.
Did you really?
I met Don Omar at a racing event. He went to like San Antonio or Austin. I can't remember. And it was just the thing that he did. And it was just a straightaway. And him and the radio DJ that I was working with at the time thought it would be funny to bring out 2 smart cars. And they did that mile, the straightaway mile in smart cars. And that was the longest race of the day because smart cars are not equipped to go fast. So yes, I am canon. Never mind in the Fast and Furious universe because I met Don Omar, who was in the Brazil one, whichever one that is. Fast 5, maybe.
Fast 5. Yeah. That's the best one. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that one and 7 because Paul Walker dies in that one, and that goodbye to him makes me cry every time.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about Tokyo Drift. Yeah, that's also the best.
Tokyo Drift is also good. Yeah, Tokyo Drift. So there's only 3.
3 of the 11.
No, but the 11 ones are only the Fast and Furious ones. You're missing Hobbs and Shaw. That makes it 12. Is there any other spin-off?
Oh, no, I think that's it. They made like a direct to DVD one like around Tokyo Drift, but
do you also want to include the parody movie that they made?
What's the parody movie?
They didn't make it, but there's a parody movie that parodies Fast and Furious.
Oh, and then no, that doesn't count. Come on.
And the villain in that movie,
movie count in the Spider-Man trilogy?
Yes, because Drake Bell voiced Spider-Man for what was it? Ultimate Spider-Man? No, not Ultimate Spider-Man. No, Ultimate Spider-Man's the one that came after the animated Spider-Man.
No, you're right. It's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, it's also Ultimate. We reused the title.
Yeah.
Never mind. So yes, he is also canon in that.
That is true. Yeah.
Man, what a way to close out. Realizing everything is canon, huh?
Everything is canon.
Little parentheses. As a Christian, it's so complex for me to understand the multiverse in like Marvel, for example. We'll just do the Marvel one. Because it's like, if there's like Greek mythology, And there's like other mythology. There's also like who else have we seen in that? But there's like also all sorts of, there's Norse mythology, and like sometimes all the gods hang out, and Russell Crowe's there. Hey, we were talking about him earlier. Russell Crowe's sometimes there, right? And so I'm like Jesus has to exist in this one, right? Because like if there's all the mythologies, they would also have to include the Jesus one. But then if the Jesus one also happened, does that mean that all of those people have to believe in salvation? Because it's like, you already met all of the other gods. You might as well also. Anyway, it hurts my head. I
guess. I mean, that's kind of hard to think. But
that's what I'm saying.
I've talked about it with my friend, being like how everything is, you could just see it in a different way. Like in the same way, like how, Jesus exists. Like, for other religions, it's the same thing, but it's a different name, or like
it's a different guy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this similar thing. Like if you saw it from a different lens, you could see it as the same thing, or just the same thing that's in a different place, or whatever it is.
What they got to do is what South Park and Rick and Morty have done multiple times, where Jesus will just come in and save the day, just to kind of acknowledge that he's there.
We just need a little bit of that. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, if Thunderbolts can be fixed, it's by having a Jesus cameo, is what I'm saying.
I think you're right.
If Kraven the Hunter can be fixed, it's simply by putting in a Jesus cameo. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And Hugh Jackman needs to play Jesus, right?
Oh my God.
We agree? We agree? We agree?
No, it's going to be Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine, playing Jesus.
Oh,
there's layers. Just like in Night at the Museum, he was Hugh Jackman playing whatever theater production they were doing, and then he also played Wolverine by playing those. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Wait a minute. It's all canon.
Layers. Yeah, it's all canon. God. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not going to end the podcast because we need to talk about how every role Hugh Jackman's ever done is canon.
And then in Deadpool 1, Hugh Jackman was named sexiest man alive, as we saw in that People magazine that was flying at the beginning. So even Hugh Jackman as an actor is just out and about in the world, not knowing that there's a mutant that looks exactly like him.
Oh, yeah, that is true. I think that's real. I think this is all canon. It's like the same way the same way how you see like random posts where they're like, oh, I found it's like they'll always be like, I found Drake or whatever. It's like a like Asian Drake or whatever, and it'll be like some dude, and they somehow looks almost exactly like Drake, and you're like, how the fuck did that happen?
It's like when people are like, oh man, I bumped into The Weeknd, and they're like, no, that's the weekday.
Have you seen Game Night?
I haven't. It's been on my to watch list, because I hear that it's like how do I call it? It's not a critically acclaimed comedy, but it's one of those where it's like people are like, you have to watch it. Like, it's not a priority, but it's a funny enough movie that you're going to have a great time with it. So it's been recommended to me, but I have not watched it.
It is a very funny show, or not show. It's a very funny movie. There's a clip you could look up, and it's about how Lamorne Morris, his character, who also is in New Rural, he basically his partner was basically saying how she met up with Denzel Washington and at a car in a gas station, and then they like went to like the club or something, or like went out for a drink or whatever it is, and then and then Lamar is like, he's like, are you sure that's Denzel? He's like, yeah, I have a picture. He's like, yeah, no, that's not Denzel.
I'm watching it right now. It's really funny because this guy doesn't this guy do like spot on imitations?
Yeah, of Denzel.
Yeah, he does like Denzel, Will Smith. He's hilarious. Do they ever? Oh yeah, there's the picture. I saw the picture now. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that.
So that's Hugh Jackman with the mutants.
Yeah.
You see that? Yeah, exactly.
Except his name in universe is Huge Jacked Man.
Yes, exactly. See, you get it, you know?
Whereas Wolverine is supposedly in canon, a short man. Short but jacked man. You know, he's not a huge jacked man, you know?
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. He's canon with Greatest Showman because in the 1800s, right? That like, you know, because he's been around for like a long time, but also that makes him Jesus because he's around for a tortured eternity. You know what I'm saying?
And then in The Greatest Showman, Zac Efron is also in that, who's Troy Bolton's great-great-grandfather, which is the reason why Troy Bolton has music in him. It's in his blood. And so now High School Musical is canon.
Yes. It's all coming together. Everything is connected.
For better or for worse, whether they want it or not. I want to thank everyone for being canon.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening. And we're always here. And thank you to Eduardo for subbing in for Julian while he's out. But, you know, he's always welcome to come by and it's always nice to have him. So thank you.
I'm like an uninvited guest. I'll just appear. Sometimes you guys are recording on Discord and I'm like, I should just walk in and mess it all up. But this time I was asked to come. So I did it. And now I did it and I was here.
You did.
And we spoke about things. And
we tried.
It was my pleasure.
Of course. Yeah. You're like Kramer, you know? You're like Kramer with a bow tie. Can we say it like that?
I like that. I don't know who that is, but thank you.
From Seinfeld.
Never watched.
Oh, well, you know him. If you look it up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We also have a video coming out at some point. Not soon, but at some point, of us watching High School Musical. So whenever that comes out, you can check it out on my channel. And Eduardo, do you have anything to plug?
Hey, if you want to follow me, give me a follow on social media. I'm at Chuntillo, Chuntillo. I do some Spanish stuff. I do some English stuff. I mean, this is mainly to the extent of what I do in English. It's just with you. I don't really do anything else in English. But if you speak Spanish and if you want to be informed about like newsy type stuff, I mainly talk about newsy type stuff on Maine. Just this week, I'm starting to do something a little more official on certain radio stations. I'm on from 8 to 1 at the top of the hour to give you some news headline updates. I wish that I could tell you what stations those were, but they're like, you're hired. And I'm like, where? And they're like, you know, there. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I haven't really found out where exactly, but as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know. But follow me on socials if you want to be updated with that. And if you really hate me, just block me. Just really block me. Just
Jesus.
Just drown me out of your life. All right.
Oh my God.
If you don't ever want to hear from, was that too much? Was that too
much?
I just too dramatic.
Surprised.
Too dramatic. Anyway, that's me.
That's crazy. Anyways, guys, this is a Nostalgia Bait podcast. We're going to change the name, but we're on every Tuesday. Well, we're going to try every Tuesday. For now, it's every other Tuesday. If not, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and I will mention that. But otherwise, thank you guys for listening. And this is Kara Presents.
This is Eduardo.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.